They've just finished showing a movie at the Mars Pathfinder news conference. It's all pictures you've seen before. The reaction of the scientists as the various great pictures from Mars came in. They're now back to questions and answers. Let's rejoin them.
Words can't. A couple of brief updates on things on the websites. The Mars Pathfinder homepage, main site, mpf.www.jpl.nasa.gov, continues to be a good site to use. We also have a good solid mirror at mars.sgi.com, and public users may want to give that one a try. Let's see, in terms of upcoming press briefings, our next scheduled briefing will be tomorrow, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. We've slipped it slightly to give the science team a chance to catch a little more sleep. And with that, we'll go to questions here.
All right. Well, they've announced they're going to continue to do these briefings, let the people there have a little bit more sleep. We got new pictures, and some of them pretty fascinating,
yeah.
You know?
It's amazing how quickly they're getting information on everything as well.
Well, I'm amazed two ways. One, that they're getting so much, and one, that they're getting so little. I want to see more pictures. I'm very greedy for this stuff. I want to see more pictures in color from Mars, which is, of course, totally out of my control and totally out of their control as well. If they could do it in color, they would, and probably by nightfall they will. First picture ever taken by the Sojourner rover, looking back at the mothership, and Lou and I had a discussion during the break about what that thing was up in the upper right-hand corner. I thought it was the sniffer on the rover. It's impossible. It couldn't be, because the sniffer on the rover is on the other side of the rover. That may be the high-gain antenna, the thing that is sending the pictures from Mars back to Earth. And if they said that, Lou, and I didn't hear it and you did, I'm glad you told me. So anyway, that's the mothership over there. This is what the rover did after it got off the lander. It did some wheelies, and what you see there is the tracks of the rover down there in the Martian sand. At one point in this, they said they were going to do soil mechanics tests, which I think is NASA speak for seeing whether the dirt breaks up and splits when you drive over it. And there's the picture of the day, probably, unless we get more pictures later on. That's the rover butted up against the first rock that it wants to examine, Barnacle Bill, the name of the rock. And they're grabbing every little tiny iota of information they can out of this. You can see behind that rock there was a kind of a sand fall there in the ground, which meant the wind had been blowing from over here across the rock, leaving some sand back there behind. They are doing such analysis.
Do they not only have, as I understand it, the rover has a 1-week lifetime?
They've changed that. Over the weekend, they said, oh, this rover may keep going for a long time. It may last for up to a year.
And how far can it travel?
Depends on how long it's up there. It can go out 30 feet maybe and still stay in touch. It could go out further and come back in and get in touch.
All right. John will stay here. We will stay here. We'll have more on the Mars mission. There's a new briefing coming up on the mirror experience at the space station for the astronaut and the cosmonauts up there.
All right, so please stay with us.